Hey, I'm still alive. What? It's only been like a month since I last uploaded. My name is Benjamin, and today we are going to be building an automatic marshmallow roaster. Per usual, all the materials for this build will be linked in the description. Anyway, let's get right on into the project. Let me start out by saying that this isn't technically my idea. My cousin Wesley actually came up with this, and he was very, very adamant that he be credited for the idea. I don't really know why. Oh, also, don't mind this kind of open heart surgery garbage that's going on back here. My 3D printer Theodore just decided to be an idiot and burn out a power supply fan, so now I gotta fix all that garbage. Actually, wait, I have an idea. I can just cover it up with my Blue's Clues pillowcase. There we go. I think that's better. Oh my gosh, I got so off track. Anyway, so my basic idea for the invention would be, it's basically just one of these metal marshmallow roasters that you just use at like camping and stuff. I don't know, where else would you roast marshmallows? And basically, I'm just gonna attach one of these to a continuously rotating servo so that you don't really have to do anything. It's kind of a simple idea, but I think it could be fun to adapt it into different things and, you know, just get some stuff done. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Let's get right into the build. So the first thing I did was take some needle nose pliers and take off the metal hinges from the metal marshmallow roaster I'd found. This was so that I could separate the two pieces. Once I had the two pieces separated, I used some double-sided sticky tape to attach the 6-volt battery pack to the rear of the bar. I then did the same with a little servo tester. Now what these things do is they basically are to find out which servos are bad, which ones are still working, but they're also really useful in these circumstances. They have 3 modes. The first mode is where you can manually control the servo using the onboard dial. The second mode where it will send the servo to a neutral position, or in the case of a continuous servo like the one we have, it'll just make it spin around and around forever. Or the third one, it will make the servo move back and forth. This is what we'll be using to control the major movements of the robot. Of course, the final step was to attach the servo to the end of the robot. Here I just used double-sided tape temporarily, but I eventually switched to hot glue. Now that the main body and electronics part of the robot is done, there's just one more step we have to do. We have to take this, which is the end part of it, and we have to cut it at the end so that it can fit on the servo. Now, my idea for this is basically... Alright, I think we got it. So now that we've cut our piece, our final step will be to glue this onto the main body of the robot, and then it should be done. And boom, it's done. It's finally done. All I had to do was put on like so much hot glue. Anyway, it's done, it's finished. You plug it in. A light turns on, boom, it starts spinning. You can control it with the dial, or if you're a lazy piece of garbage, you could just press the button and it'll do it itself. And I know some of you might be like, ooh, that's not technically a robot. There's no microcontroller on it. Well, how about this? Boom, I slapped an Arduino Nano on it. Now it's a robot. You happy? You happy now? It does the exact same thing, except it's way more complicated because you gotta put code in it. I'm just gonna use the old one, and I'm still gonna call it a robot just for simplicity's sake, So the robot is done, it's finished, it's been built. I just said the same sentence 3 times in a row, but with different words. That's fine. We're gonna test it here with the fire. We tried doing it outside earlier, but the bugs were like super loud and annoying. Shut up, bug! And it was really dark, so you couldn't really see it well, so we've switched to inside. With me, of course, I have the robot. Then I have FireMaker number 1, FireMaker number 2, and FireMaker number 3. Now, first we're going to start off with FireMaker number 1. Now, this beauty is a plasma lighter. Basically, you press this button, and it creates super hot plasma, which can set stuff on fire. It's really, really cool. So we're going to use this first, and if it ends up not working, we'll switch to the traditional lighter, and if that doesn't work, we have matches. Fire time, baby! So let me grab my outdated and expired marshmallows. One deformed marshmallow coming right up. All right, I'm gonna put it on the mode where it's automatic so I don't have to do anything. I just press it and it spins by itself. And I can actually just hold it right here and not have to do anything. Look at this. I'm being so lazy. I don't even have to do anything. And the marshmallow is getting nice and toasty. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that right there. That is one toasty golden brown marshmallow right there. And I didn't even have to do any work. I just sat there holding it. And the cool thing is, if you have a stand for it, you don't even have to hold it. You can just lay it down and let it spin by itself. I'm actually just gonna set it down. Look, I don't even have to do anything. I'm not even touching it. This is the epitome of laziness, and I love it. I could just leave it there and it'll roast itself. You know, you could buy 10, 20 of these, you know? You're making me money, plus you're just multiplying your laziness. I have a camper full of 20 people. You got a giant family. Well, look, you don't even have to do anything. Family bonding time. Who cares about family bonding time? All you gotta do is buy 20 of these and lay them out by the fire. Oh, it's getting very toasty. Oh, well, it seems we've made an improvised torch. This is what the cavemen would call Ooga Googa Ganursk. Yeah, we don't really need this. We're not Indiana Jones, so I'm just gonna like, yeah, there we go. I already burned the carpet once. Alright, yeah, some people like their marshmallows pretty crispy, so, this one's probably fine, right? Anyway, I would say that's a successful test. So now we're gonna go test it into... So now we're gonna go test it in 2 other ways that I think this could work. So as I stated before, there are some other uses for the robot that weren't specifically in the design. One of the uses is to be used with spaghetti to twirl the spaghetti. You know how normally when you're eating spaghetti, you gotta like spin the fork around? Well, I'm super lazy and I don't wanna do that. As you can see here, I literally just hot glued the end of a fork to the robot, so now I can use it for spaghetti purposes. All right, so I'm just gonna stick the fork and then look at that, effortless. Effortless spaghetti. It's so easy. It's the epitome of laziness. So yeah, I'd say this is pretty effective at doing spaghetti as well. So now we're gonna go test it in one other way. So the final way I think we could adapt this robot and use it in a cool way is for eating ice cream. Now I know it looks like I just glued a ice cream cone to the robot. That's because that's exactly what I did. You know how normally when you eat ice cream, you gotta like lick it over and over and your tongue gets really sore? Oh, it's a workout. So with this simple invention, all you gotta do is turn the dial. This spins, you just gotta stick your tongue out. Easy, simple as that. I mean, if you're the laziest person in the world, this is the robot for you. Yeah, so I'd say that pretty much concludes our tests. This robot seems to work in all 3 of the fields I thought it could, which is really unusual because usually my robots just don't do at all what they're intended to. This one actually works really, really well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The robot actually worked perfectly in all 3 aspects, which usually doesn't happen, so I consider that a win. You also may have noticed that I changed my channel name and logo. My old channel name didn't really make sense or pertain to what I really did here, but I think my new one really does because I am a mediocre engineer. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I don't have to tell you that. You know how YouTube works. Bye.